Hello, I'm Simon Whistler, you're watching the Today I Found Out YouTube channel, and in the video today we're looking at whether the makers of Barbie really used to sell a doll whose breasts grew when you rotated her arm. And don't forget to stay tuned to the end of the video for some bonus facts. It was 1975 and the doll was called Growing Up Skipper. When you rotated the arm, she grew an inch taller and her small breasts grew out of her plastic chest. She could return to her pre-pubescent self simply by rotating the arm back the way it was. Mattel created the original Skipper doll in 1964 in response to requests of Barbie fans wanting Barbie to have children of her own. Given how Skipper eventually turned out, one would think that the next logical step after the request for Mother Barbie would have been the creation of a Barbie doll where she grew bigger breasts and a pregnant belly when her arm was rotated, but that would ruin Barbie's figure now, wouldn't it? Apparently not wanting to create knocked-up Barbie, Mattel created Skipper Roberts, Barbie's younger sister. The idea was that Barbie would babysit Skipper, who in turn would bring out all the maternal qualities Barbie could muster without ruining the blonde beauty's flawless figure. The original Skipper actually did not come with a magic rotating arm that led her through the gateways of puberty in less than 1 second flat. She was supposed to be young enough that Barbie had to babysit her, and when she was first released, her appearance matched her imaginary age. Barbie stood at 11.5 inches tall, Skipper was only 9.25 inches tall and flat-chested. Although there were many different versions of Skipper between 1964 and 1975, including Skipper on Wheels in 1965 and the Sunset Malibu Skipper in 1972, she remained Barbie's younger sister and avoided the over-sexualization that plagued her older sibling. The 1975 Growing Up Skipper doll was the beginning of the end for Skipper and her reason for being. And it did not take long. By 1979, Skipper was pretty much unrecognizable. Now called Super Teen Skipper, children no longer had to rotate her arm to make Skipper's breasts appear. Skipper now came with small, permanent breasts, and her face had changed to make her appear older. In keeping with the over-sexualization theme of Barbie dolls, in 1985, Mattel released Hot Stuff Skipper. Keep in mind that this doll is designed to be only in her early teen years, which makes the whole hot stuff thing even slightly more creepy than the growing breasts version. 1988 brought us Teen Fun Skipper. By now, Skipper appeared to be between 13 and 15 years of age. Her breasts were larger, her waist more flexible, and her body taller. But she was not done growing. In 1997, Teen Skipper was born. She was taller, and her breasts had grown even larger. She was now almost as tall as Barbie and pretty much the same age. Between 1975 and the present, Skipper's looks have changed dramatically, and presently she is just as tall, just as developed, and just as over-sexualized as her older sister. In fact, they are now both teenagers of about the same age. What? But how does that make sense? Barbie hasn't aged one bit, and Skipper has gone from a prepubescent little sister that Barbie had to babysit to pretty much Barbie's fraternal twin sister. Oh, Mattel, you must have forgotten why you created Skipper in the first place. And now for some bonus Barbie facts. Number 1. The most common criticism of Barbie is that she promotes an unrealistic body image for young girls and women. Barbie's non-plastic dimensions would be a 36-inch chest, 18-inch waist, and 33-inch hips. She would be 5 foot 9 inches tall and would only weigh 110 pounds and would lack the 17 to 22% body weight required for women to menstruate. Perhaps why knocked up Barbie hasn't happened yet, or maybe the lack of genitalia on herself or on Ken. So yes, unrealistic, but ironically, given Marilyn Monroe is often touted as a realistic body image for women to aspire to, Barbie is not that far off Marilyn Monroe's 35, 22, 35 dimensions and 5 foot 5.5 inches, or Elizabeth Hurley's 34, 24, 34 at 5 foot 10 inches. So Barbie's figure is essentially a slightly photoshopped Marilyn Monroe or Elizabeth Hurley. Bonus fact 2. Barbie was invented by the co-founder of Mattel, Ruth Handler, in 1959. She got the idea for Barbie after watching her daughter play with paper dolls and seeing that she enjoyed giving them adult roles. At this time, most dolls were made in an infant's likeness. She suggested the idea of an adult-bodied doll to her husband and Mattel co-founder Elliot, who was not at all enthused about the idea. Nor were Mattel's directors. On a trip to Germany in 1956, Ruth saw an adult-bodied doll named Bill's Lily. Being that this was exactly what Ruth had in mind for her doll design, she bought 3 of them. She gave one to her daughter to play with and brought the 2 others to Mattel. It's needless to say that the executives were eventually sold on the idea. So I really hope you found that video interesting. If you did, please do give us a like below and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We put out brand new videos just like this 7 days of the week. Also, over there on the right are a couple of other videos you might enjoy if you enjoyed this one, and thank you for watching.